So guys, in last video we discussed about the structure of project. Now in this video we are going to implement the DAO part. So DAO is a data access object. So in this we required ideally the four file. First file is a connection. So we are going to create this connection file. In this connection file ideally what we'll have a static connection method that can be called anywhere in the complete program to communicate with the database. So for that purpose, let me right click on my project, new, and then let me create a class. So for that, I'm going with a package name that is DAO. And then the class name, I'll just go with DB connection. All right. So now we required a private, not method. Let me once again, private static connection. So connection is what? Now connection, I'm just going to call from the java.sql control space. Now this is my reference. I'll have connection. Now let me create a method. So guys, this is a good practice to create this. That method is a public method, and let me go with a public static method. And this method is get connection. So yes, that will going to create a connection. The return type will be as static. Okay. The return type is a static, and see, the method is static and the return type should be of connection. So what I'll do, I'll just copy connection and replace this with this. Now we can call, once again, we can call this method anywhere to create a connection. So in this, we require a try. And of course, if we'll have try, so I'll go with catch as well. Perfect. In that catch, we can print sysout exception. All right. Now it required a return type. So we'll have this variable is already declared. Okay. Now we need to create this variable. So if connection double equals to null, initially our connection is null. So what we need to do, we just need to create a connection. So for that purpose, we'll go with a class dot for name. One second, class dot control space for name, and then you need to provide a driver. So com dot mysql dot cj dot jdbc dot driver semicolon. Looks good. Now this is our driver. Now we'll supposed to provide a MySQL complete URL. So that is connection equals to driver control space manager dot get connection. So there I need to provide my complete database URL. So what is my URL? How can I check that what exactly my URL is? So I have this MySQL. Let me delete this connection. Now when I'll click on this plus option, then what happened? It is asking for a name. So I'll just provide any name, test, and this is the host name. So I just change this with a local host. Okay, my port is 3306. Username is root and my system password is root that I had already said. Let me click on OK and then let me click on test connection. Now you can see successfully made the MySQL connection. Looks good. Now let me open that. I think last time we created a database with the name of e-commerce. Let me scroll down. Yes, this was the database which we created. Let me open that once again. This is our database, and in that I'll have couple of tables. So cart is this, product is this, and user is this. So initially we are going to communicate with a connection. So what I'll do now, I'll have everything. Let me maximize this once again. Yes. Now what is the URL? So string URL is double quotes we require, that is jdbc colon mysql colon / localhost colon 3306 / the name of databases you can check e-commerce. Okay, so spelling should be correct. What I'll do, I'll just click copy and then I'll paste it there. Perfect. Now what is username? Username is root and password is also root. So guys, we need to add a SAR file. Okay, that is for the database SAR. Now see, still I'm getting a permanent error that we don't have any return type. So what I'll do, I'll hover my mouse over there and let me click on add return. So we'll got return connection. Now this connection will never be null. If you'll have like, see, if this works successfully, it means connection is not null. But to that, for that purpose, we need to add a jar file. So guys, as this is a web project, so suggestible to put jar file in the lib folder, right? Else you can put it in build path as well, but suggestible to go in the lib folder. So what I'll do, I'll just right click, build path, configure build path, and library, add external jar. So I'll just go to download. There I'll have my SQL. So let me check my SQL connector. Yes, this is the folder. Let me open this folder. And this is the jar file. I'm not going to put it in the build path. I'll just right click and then copy this file. Right, I'll just copy. Let me cancel, close, and I'm just going to paste it in this location. Right click and then paste. Now the database path can be easily identified. Looks good. Okay, now let me create another file that has a user DAO. So this is user DAO. So that will going to provide you the access of user. So looks good. Okay, and there we require a model class as well. Guys, if suggestible, if you are going with any DAO, so you can create the respective model. So what I'll do, I'll just go to my mod. I need to create a model as well. So right click new class. The package is changed. Now package is model. Okay, and you will understand this user, right? So I required a couple of fields from there. So I really, what are the fields in this class? So we'll have, one second, let me open my database. We have ID, name, email, and password. So ID is an integer, name and email is in a string, and password is also in a string. Let me check. Right click, alter table. Yeah, so all are in varchar. ID is an integer. So let me create that. So first we required integer ID, a string name, right? A string email, one second, email, and then a string, one second, a string password. All right, now we can create a setter getter for them. Okay, setter getter constructor depend upon your choice. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a setter getter, right click, source, see, and then generate getter setter. Select all and then generate. Looks good. Now I'll go with the user DAO. So in user DAO, what we can do in user DAO, we can register the user. Okay, we can perform the login operation. Couple of operations are there. So I think in this video, we can create the user DAO because user DAO is lengthy, huh? So there, I'm just going to create a public static method that return type is Boolean. Okay, and the name of method is register, one second, register user. So that user we can call from somewhere. I'm just going to import the user file, control space user. Looks good. See, why we are getting error? Because we need to return something as a boolean. So that will do. Now I'll have try. Along with try, we must have catch. So guys, make this in practice that you are going to declare the data and looks good. All right. Now we have a connection. So again, we'll go with a connection. Control space connection equals to, now see, we have this class which is db connection. So we need to call that class. So that is db connection dot get connection. Now this connection have everything, whatever inside the values. I mean, inside our URL. Now let me maximize this one second. All right. Now there, this class we are working. Yes. Now there, we'll go with a prepared statement. Prepared statement. Prepared statement must be from the java.sql. Right. Control space. We'll go with PSFT, the shortcut reference, and then we'll just go with connection dot. You can find a prepared statement with a query, right? So I must have a query. So that query should be, I'll just go with a double quote, insert, once again, insert We are going to register the user. Okay, so we'll just go with insert into users, right? And there we need to provide the fields. So what are the fields? We are going to provide only name, comma, email, comma, password. So ID is auto increment, so that will insert it automatically. And what should be the values? So values will be, one second, the values will be entered from the front end, that is from the web page. So first is the question mark, comma, second is the question mark, comma, third is the question mark. So yes, we'll have the three fields that will be inserted from the front end, of course. So now we'll have psft dot set string. So first data is of a string type. So yes, we are going to add user dot, one second, user dot get name. That will going to fetch the name. Let me copy this, paste. Second is also of a string type. Yes. So that have the user dot control space get email. Okay. And third is also of the string type. So that is not a problem. And user dot get control space the password. Yes. So that works. Now we need to return this. See, actually, it is asking to return something. So we are just going to return 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 psft dot execute update. See, the return type you can see of execute update is integer. So what we can do, this is integer, so that will not work. So what I'll do, I'll just provide a variable greater than 0. So it means, see, this is either true or false. Depend upon that, it will give us a return type. But this is for this try block, right? You can see we are getting an error. Okay, because this is only for the try block. So let me just add a return statement at the end with a false. That works. So this is for the first method. Now the second method, user also want to do a login. Okay, so we'll have the public static user, one second, user control space. Let me go with a method that is login. Okay, so login user will be the method. And now how user will going to login? User will going to login with a string email, comma, string password. So these are the fields which I required from the user. One second, string is not correct. String, right? Now, again, we require the connection. So guys, wherever we require to fetch things from the database, there we require a connection. So if connection, we require try and catch. Let me go with that, sysout E. Now, there, what I require, I'll just go with connection. One second. Control space connection equals to db connection dot get connection. So in that, again, see, we are not supposed to write the complete code that will be fetched from that static class, right? Looks good. Now we need to verify the username and password for the login. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just go with a prepared statement again. Prepared statement, control space psft. You can go with anything. This is a reference connection dot prepare statement. Now again, it is looking for the query. So what is our query? Select, one second, select star from users. Now guys, there either you can go with a where clause, else you can go with a while. So I'll just go with a where, one second, where email equal to that I'm getting email from the above query, as well as, one second, I should not go with that, and password equals to again the question mark. So yes, these are the two fields which I required. If user enter the correct username and password, so we need to set it some string and then we need to execute that. So it should be psft dot set string 1 comma let me change this to email. All right, copy and then paste psft dot 2 comma password. So yes, I'll have that password that copied. Perfect. Now we'll go with the result set. Result set, it should be from the java.sql control space set equals to Results set require the statement, I mean psft dot execute query. Now query is already there. So one second. Now we require the if rs, sorry, it is set dot next. Just check everything from all the rows. If user is fine. Okay, so what it can do, it can return the user value. Okay, so the new user. So guys, now if I'm going to return the user, it means I need to return the complete user. So for that purpose, we require a constructor. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just create a constructor for the user by that way. So let me just save this, right click, source, one second, where is the source option? Yes, source, and then constructor using field. So this constructor ideally I required, Control S. Now this constructor we are going to return. So in Java, this is the benefit that we can dynamically return, I mean, create the data. So yes, I'll have set dot get integer. So integer is the first field. Okay, now password is what? Second field. So password and email. So ideally, second is the email. So we'll just go with set dot get string second. So that will going to compare. This email is not good. One second. Do I have email there? Okay, ID, name, email, password. Yeah, that's correct. So first is the ID, second is the name, third is the email, right? So I'll just go with set dot get string 3. So this is email, and then the last is the password. So set dot get string 4. So yes, this will be the password. So that I'm going to return by this semicolon is there. Perfect. Okay. So I think still I have an error because of this. So let me put a return statement, return as a null. Yes, looks good. So this is about the user DAO. So that's it from this video, guys. Next, we are going to discuss about the register sublet. Okay, so we can check that how the server will going to register. Thank you.